is the beast from Hollywood East, Michael the Hammer Mulligan.
Hey folks, Michael the Hammer Mulligan here. Welcome to Fireside. Tonight's guest is Peter Barrett, aka Slippery Pete. What's up, Pete?
Good to see you, Mike.
It was suggested to me that I move the chairs a little further apart and turn them in. So this is experimental to see if the people like it.
These are some mighty nice chairs.
You like those alligator chairs?
They're comfy.
They are comfy. I like them. I like them. And we're equal now. I used to have my big chair and then I have like the Edith chair, you know.
Like a rocking chair?
Yes. Now they're both the same. So it's awesome. So Peter, listen, I've watched you through your career. You used to train with, how did you first start training?
Actually, I started training, well, I would go back as far as say Taekwondo when I was a kid.
Yep.
And then I got into the conventional sports, which are your football, your basketball, soccer, most of which I was terrible at. It just wasn't a fit. And then I went to BC High and came across wrestling, fell in love with the sport, fell in love with the competitive edge. I ended up competing at 189 my senior year at sectionals, placed. Went to states, didn't win states, but beat a couple sectional champs from Western Massachusetts, which was huge back then because they were the powerhouses.
Sure.
And, you know, kind of took a break with everything in college, got into rugby, had a blast. Was the rugby stereotype. We were the frat party school team at my school, and then as rugby came to an end and me and my coach had a falling out, I got back into Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu. Yep. Which landed me under Brandon Thatch, and he's a active UFC fighter now.
Brandon Thatch.
Fights out of Elevation Training and Grudge Training Center in Colorado. I was working in the nightclub industry, and if anything about my fighting, my lifestyle, I go bigger, I go home. I was, you know, as much of a rock star as I am in the cage, I was a rock star in the club. I was, quote unquote, a club rat. I knew everybody at every spot. In Denver, and they have a huge EDM scene, so it was a blast. But that
weird thing.
It wore on me.
Yeah.
It didn't last that long, but I moved home and I got involved with Mike Vonner at Max Training Center.
Nice.
So that's my local home base.
Nice.
That Monday, I said, "Hey Mike, I want to fight. You got to get me on a card. Talk to this Cage Titans guy." You know, I had no idea who he was.
Yeah. You
know, talk to these people, get me on a card, I want to fight, I want to fight, I want to fight. Lo and behold, a couple things fell through. I ended up fighting my first fight against Shawn Nichols on the Cage Titans Carnage. No, it was the first show up at local 103 Union Hall. So, I got on that card against Shawn Nichols, who's now a teammate up at Sityodtong Tong, but at the time he was fighting out of Y Crew.
Yep.
And the Ginger Ninja put up a good fight. We went back and forth. We were just trading. It was like a 15 or a 9-minute bar fight. Is pretty much what it looked like.
Yeah.
We just sat in the pocket. I hunted him down. He counter struck, and I think we both bled that night. But
it's amazing the amount of energy, you know, when you first start out and you don't have the skill that you have now. The amount of energy that you use that's like wasted.
Breathing.
Exactly.
Breathing is important. Yeah. And I think I held my breath that whole fight. Yeah. You know, I remember sitting in between rounds, just like tasting the blood in my throat, like that nickel taste. You know what I mean? And it sucked.
They're saying breathe. You go, what?
I'm still holding my breath, trying to figure out why I can't breathe. And then everything, you know, I lost that fight, a decision, very close decision. Still partial to that decision, but
that's good though.
But yeah,
that's good. That's part of it.
And that was like, I look back on that and I think nothing could have been better. Learning how to lose my first fight and rising above it, it just made me really hungry. And the fight after that, I came back, went the distance with what's his name, Sean. It'll come to me. He was out of clinch MMA.
There you go.
We went 3 rounds. I think I broke his nose. He has a big nose. He's a big guy, and it was a blast.
What weight were you at with those fights?
When I fought Sean, we fought at a catch weight, I think of 160 or 165.
Yep.
And you know, I was soft. I was definitely soft around the edges.
Yeah, but keeping in mind now, you were a wrestler at 180.
Well, I wasn't weighing 180. I was fighting at I was wrestling at like 160.
Okay.
Maybe it was 160.
Right.
And then I was not cutting weight properly.
Right.
I was, doing the whole Metamucil thing 2 days before weigh-in, just trying to clean everything out.
We'll talk about that at the end because you're in that process right now. So we'll talk about that a little bit.
So, it was a learning experience. I realized how much cutting weight sucked, and I decided to learn everything I could about the human body and how it works.
Nice.
What to eat, how to eat, when to eat, what good food choices are. Like, I went off the deep end on it and found any and every book. I dove into the paleo lifestyle. A slow carb diet was before that. I mean, I was digesting any and every piece of information that I could.
Because it's not only about the weight, it's about the energy, it's about the strength and the body, it's in the breathing, everything. Mm-hmm. Everything comes into play with that diet.
And I wanted to be the best at what I did. And that's, I won't put my name on anything unless I firmly believe I'm doing it right. I mean, in college, it took me forever to write papers because I needed to know everything about the subject before I could talk about it. And I would spend so much time doing my research, and it just translated over to my fighting career, which in hindsight is awesome.
Well, it's, look, there's a million different little pieces, just like anything else you do in life, building a house, whatever, there's a million pieces, and the better you are at putting all those pieces together, the more successful you are in the sport.
Having a solid foundation.
Yeah.
And that's what I needed. And I was living at home, working, a labor job for the family, doing landscaping, bartending on the weekends. So it was train work, pay my student loans, get all of that under control, and my free time I spent reading on the internet, learning, getting this all under control, and now I feel like I've got a pretty good grip on it, but I still use nutritionists to help keep me accountable. Right. More than anything.
Yeah. Now, do you have good nutritionists, obviously, huh?
Yes, I'm actually working with the two ladies that Rob Font was working at. They're Perfecting Athletes.
That's the name of their company. Do they have a website or something?
They have a Facebook page. They're kind of low key. You don't really see too much about them. It's two ladies.
Shane's in the same position you are. He's just all about it right now. So talk to him before you leave and give him
Their name is Paulina and Michelle. They work with a slew of UFC fighters, a slew of Bellator fighters. They're
good.
On the road, 48 weeks a year, traveling from event to event.
Yeah.
Getting these guys on the scale, making weight, post-weigh-in, nutrition, and all that goodness.
Nice. So, Pete, tell me what, some of your favorite moments, your most memorable moments. Mine was Russo, when you fought Russo.
Russo was awesome. I mean, Russo was when I realized I had found my home. Nothing against Mike Varner. We had a great time together. We flourished together. He gave me a great foundation. But when it comes to getting to that next level, Loco Lobo is the mastermind at game planning. And I stuck to the game plan. And 26 seconds later, Russo was on his ass, out cold. He was on his butt, out cold. And I had my hand raised with a belt around my waist. And, I haven't looked back since.
And there's a lot of other people to spar with as well. I think what happens is it becomes no offense with the duck, because you become the big duck in the small pond, and you can train at Max. He's a great trainer. He's been around for a long time, Michael. Great guy. But you need to move around every once in a while just so that you can find out if you are that good.
Oh, absolutely. And the beautiful thing about the relationship with Varner is that he was a student of Mark Delagrati's when he was fighting, which is the Sityodtong family.
So the lineage is still there.
And we are all networked in one big family. Max Training Center is a Sityodtong affiliate. And we just kind of made the jump from one to the next. Just like you were saying, I was the big fish in a little pond at Max Training Center.
Yep.
And to grow as a fighter, I needed to work my way up the ladder. And now Chip puts me in my place every time we spar, and it's, he's
Chip does that a lot to a lot of people.
He's, he is one of the premier alpha fighters in the Northeast.
Yes.
And having him as a training partner gives me the confidence, because I know no one out there is going to hit me or move the way he does.
And he don't pull the punches.
No, he doesn't.
He does.
He has old gloves too.
And he has no problem kicking you in the side of the head.
No, he doesn't. No, he does not. He does. He pushes us. He pushes everyone. I mean, a light day for Chip is probably a hard day for 95% of the other people.
Right.
You know, and he is that talented. He has many tools in his bag, and you know, I'm grateful to have him as a training partner.
Now tell me about your game. Now, when you came to CCFA, what was your? All right, so you were a wrestler to start with.
Mm-hmm.
You did, what was it you did before?
Taekwondo
As a youngster.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was like your go-to as a fighter? Was it wrestling?
It was. I mean, I was an egomaniac. I just thought, you know, if someone wanted to stand in the pocket and bang with me, I'd finish them before they'd finish me.
Yeah.
But that doesn't, you know, not to write off my wrestling, I'd still use takedowns. I love the ground and pound. There's actually an awesome picture of me and Steve Rita where I'm holding one of my opponents up in the air and I'm going for a slam, and it's just a beautiful photo that Rich O grabbed in my second fight. I mean, I'd love to be on the ground. I love to bring people to the ground. I love to knock people out on the ground. I mean, Casey Lamont, he's a great kid, was fighting out of South Shore at the time. I fought for victory up at the Lowell Auditorium, and that poor kid tried to take my back, and I pulled him right off and laid in a few uppercuts from my knees right into his mouth, and he was out for like 20 minutes, you know.
Yeah.
Some of my best, I would say, second to Russo, that was my favorite knockout, or my favorite finish.
So for me, watching you as an outsider, right? Me watching you grow as you've been in this sport, you've rounded off your game a lot more.
Yes,
your strikes are like phenomenal. Not that they weren't good before, but I'm just saying that you've rounded it off. You're not as one way.
Tightened everything up, and I fell in love with Muay Thai from the second I started it. And the funny thing is about my Muay Thai, I'm a righty. I fight southpaw.
Nice.
I didn't want to screw up my wrestling. My wrestling's my base. I wanted to fight my wrestling stance. While I was training out in Colorado learning Muay Thai, everybody would tell me, "No, I'm getting your right hand stance. Getting your right hand stance. You're a righty." So, well, no. If I want to take this, you know, places down the road, I want to know how to fight my wrestling stance.
Right.
So I put my nose down and I learned how to fight as a lefty, as a southpaw, and I haven't. I mean, it's worked in my favor. I can fight righty. I can fight lefty. I can switch. I can, you know, I'm not on that elite level yet, but I am getting there, switching back and forth. You don't know what angle I'm going to come from, and I'm going to hit you pretty hard when I do.
Yeah.
So everybody up at Tong has helped me. Loco Loco has helped me. Just really fun.
I mean, he's used to lefties anyways. We got 5 anyways. Me, there was Greg, and at least 3 or 4 other lefties.
Dennis is over there now as well. He's a lefty.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, and you know, it's one of those things. You know, before long, everybody's going to be able to fight both styles.
Sure.
Both styles.
Just like everything else in there, everybody's becoming a more rounded fighter. They're not just a one-trick pony.
You're doing yourself a disservice if you do not learn how to fight out of your offhand stance, and that's how I really feel about it.
Yep.
You know, you might have the meanest right, but I've got the meanest left and the meanest right, and I hit like a truck. And that's not me saying that. That's Lionel Young saying that.
Yeah, that's
Franklin Isabel
that's
saying
Russo
that.
saying that.
That's Russo saying that. That's Lopez saying that. I mean,
your pad work,
you can just tell my whole roster, and they'll tell you I hit hard.
What are you at now with your professional record?
2-0, looking to make 3-0 this coming Saturday on the next Cage Titans event.
That's Cage Titans, November 1st at Memorial Hall. I think we might get this show in before then, so if you want to see Peter, we're going to be November 1st, and if we don't get the show in time, then we're going to have him on again, and he's going to tell us all about what happened. Let me ask you this. Who is the guy that you're fighting?
Luis Torres. I think he's in his mid-30s. He was the ground coach at Team Prado Seria when it was around, when they had a couple up-and-comers. I don't think the school exists anymore. To the best of my knowledge, he is now like a Black Horse, MMA, Brazilian top team guy.
Yeah.
I'm not really 100% sure. I've just been game planning for my anti-jiu-jitsu.
Is that what his game is? Is he mostly jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, I mean, he's a purple belt. That's kind of his claim to fame. I'm a purple belt.
Yep.
I wrestled.
Yep.
I mean, Nestor couldn't take me down. I don't see him taking me down.
Do people beat black belts that are white belts in this
sport?
It's
like,
not,
You know, when I fought Nestor, you know, the truth is, you're a high-level purple belt. I'll hit you once, now you're a blue belt. I hit you twice, now you're a white belt. I hit you 3 times, you're in kindergarten. Let's be real. You don't walk away from my punches.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of time before that right punch comes in. I've been working on a lot of nice things with Chip. A lot of high-level stuff that might you know, surprise some people. Maybe it won't. Maybe it won't.
I don't think anybody's going to be surprised by you anymore because you always come with something new. So it's very hard to, you know, I think they might have the shock and you know, it's usually what comes with your fights. But
it was funny because I got all my DVDs from the guy that films the Cage Titans recently, and I watched my second fight, and I threw a ton of knees in that fight, and I was like, oh, my plum's pretty nice. I should work that again. And then Lionel came around, and I just need the...
Yeah, you did.
I just didn't stop.
He's a great fighter. I love Lionel.
He's a good friend of mine too.
He's a nice kid, and I'm dying to have him on here. I already got a message from him on Facebook. He said he was going to come up, and yeah, he's got mad respect for you. And it was funny because I had told him he had put online that he had a fight coming up. So I said, you need to come down and work with Logo down here and get some pads in with it before the fight. And he said, I can't. I'm fighting Slippery. And I know you, but the Slippery just said, I said, who's Slippery? And he went, Peter Barrett. I went, oh. That was it. Oh, yeah. He's like, I know. So it was funny. So back to your guy that you're fighting. What he... mad respect, do you know the guy? Or?
No, I don't know him. I wouldn't know him from a hole in the wall if I saw him walking down the street. I think he's either 2-1 or 1-2. My numbers are escaping me right now, but
it's the weight cut. What's your weight that you're fighting at?
I'm actually fighting at 155 this fight. I've been making a habit of fighting at 145. But this fight he requested 155. We said 150. And 155 was just the weight that we agreed upon. It was 150 for a minute, then it was 152, and instead of doing a catch weight, I said, hey, Mike Pulver, let's just make it a lightweight fight.
Yep.
You know, depending on whether I get bigger or smaller in the future, I'm gonna have a viable career at both weights.
Right.
You know,
right.
You won't see me at 135, but
yeah, no,
145 and 155. You know, those two weight classes I feel are close enough where if you're a force, you can do well at both.
Yep.
You know, I'm not a small 145 by any means.
No, not at all.
And you know, I'm not a huge 155, but you know, I fit nicely in between the two.
Yeah. So you got this fight here, and what's your plans in the future? I mean, you need to expand a little bit more pretty soon, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, you know, the evolution of a fighter. You kind of outgrow things here and there, but you know, Mike Pulver treats me really well. Very loyal person, type of person I am.
Mike's a great guy.
So he's working with me, and he knows that, you know, the big show will call sooner or later, and I'm just going to give him as many fights as I can.
Yep.
You know, fight my heart out, and hopefully it'll open doors for me down the road. You know, CES is always on the back burner. I could always travel and go fight out in Colorado for Sven Bean. He's got Resurrection Fighting Alliance. I could work my networks with Brandon.
New Jersey.
There's CFFC down there.
Yeah.
We have networks down there. I've got sponsors in California that are willing to put their name on me to get me on cards up there if I want. But I don't really need to travel right now. You know, maybe they'll fly some guys in for me.
Yeah.
But I like fighting in my backyard. I've got a huge fan base.
Well, that's what, you know, you got guys like Johnny Johnson who they didn't have locals that wouldn't fight him, so they flew people in that would fight him. Sometimes they were flown in and said,
same thing with Banana, you know.
Yeah, it's a tough thing. You know, those are great guys and they're monsters. You know.
And I've noticed, you know, when the phone calls are made, no one wants to fight me. As soon as I sign a fight, everybody starts chirping online. You know, oh, you know, he's just looking for this, he's looking for that, and
well, you just look at a fight.
I've got a close relationship with Pulver, and I go, what's the deal with this kid? He was like, oh, he already said no to you.
Yeah.
Oh, he already said no to you. His coaches won't fight you.
Right.
That school won't fight you.
Yeah.
That school won't fight you.
Yeah.
So it, you know, we're making things work for the meantime.
That's a good. So Peter, bottom line, who would you not fight?
Rob Font.
All right, well, you see, right. He's a team member also.
You know, I look at the top 10 all the time, and there's no one on that list that I don't think I could take out. I do cross-train at certain places with a handful of those guys.
So, all right. Well,
not cross-train in martial arts, like strength and conditioning.
I understand that. Let's back up on the question a little bit. if any one of those top 10, besides Rob, because you're on his team, you know, you can't train with the guy one day and fight him the next. But if any of those guys on the top 10 list said, I want to fight you, will you fight me?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because that's what happens a lot. I mean, a lot of people, they don't want to go to the next, they want to go to the next level, but they'll hand pick. And I get the thing when you're coming up. You did your come-ups. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I watched you. You came up hard. You didn't take any easy fights. No. Everybody that you fought was a hard fight already.
My last 2 amateur fights were 2 undefeated finishers that were feared.
Animals.
You know, one's a Renzo Gracie product, and the other was a Connor's MMA product.
Yeah.
And, you know.
And Lionel's no joke either.
No, I mean, he's a journeyman.
Right.
He's been around for years.
You never know what's going to happen with that man.
You know, it depends on what Lionel shows up. And he showed up to fight that night.
Yeah,
you know, there were times when me and him were training, and I wouldn't know who was in the cage.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he knew my work ethic, and he knew if he wanted to fight, he was going to have to put his.
So bottom line, in this sport, if you want, once you get to that time where, okay, we've already, you know, kind of fed you, we've got you up to, we know now that you're a strong fighter, you're a good fighter. Now it's not, let's find out what kind of fighter he is. Now it's, we know what kind of fighter he is. We got to put him against guys that can fight so that you can build your career.
Absolutely.
Right.
And the issue that I'm seeing now is that nobody wants to risk losing to a 1-0 guy.
All right, now.
Nobody wants to risk losing to a 2-0 guy.
Right.
Nobody wants to risk losing, you know, God willing, a 3-0 guy.
Right. All right, but now, is there one person out there that wouldn't fight you that you would like to fight? Is there anybody on that list? Is any of those guys, you said, what about to Mike Polvan? Is there any of those guys, I know some of them were just, all right, I just need a fight. Well, this guy, no. Is there one of those guys that stood out in your head and said, damn, I really want to fight that guy?
You know, I don't know those guys, you know, to the point where I'm like, oh, I want to go after that guy.
Yeah. No bad blood. I'm not talking about I want to beat him up because he's a jerk. I'm talking about I want to fight him because I want to get what he has.
Oh, I'm not envious like that. I'll get mine. Mine's just a matter of time.
Okay.
But, you know, I do look at that top 10 list, and every single one of them.
Yeah.
You know,
so anyone on the top 10 list, basically.
Well, let's go this way. We'll go this way. Vodka Clay got Amateur of the Year when I was finishing up my career, finishing Nestor, finishing Russo. I think that would be a great fight.
Yeah. What's his name again?
Vodka Clay. He's a Triumph guy.
Out of Triumph, Vodka Clay. Yep. Now, was he one of the guys that turned it down, or no? He's just a guy that you.
He's just a guy. I mean, he fought Bill Jones. Bill Jones, another journeyman.
Yep.
And he won. It was a big upset, you know. And then he took some time off, and I had some other things going. Me and Lionel made an agreement to fight when he couldn't find a fight. That's how that one started. It was a little Facebook
Which was
post.
nice of you too, because Lionel, exactly, he's the same thing. Nobody gains from fighting Lionel. Whether you win or lose, his record isn't that great, and it's not because he's not a great fighter. It's because he took a lot of nasty fights.
Oh yeah,
he fights anybody. Fights. So fighting him does not do a lot for somebody's career. So somebody that's like we were talking about before, who's all about handpicking for that, that's not going to do a lot for them because either way, it's a lose-lose situation if you beat him or lose.
You got number 1, Saul Almeida. I just watched his last fight at CFX. Come on, guys. Everybody saw that fight. I beat Isabel too. But, you know, if you were there, you'd understand what I'm saying. And if you're not, then catch the video. But I watched him fight at Bellator. I said, you know, I think I can beat that guy. Watched him fight at CFX. I said, I know I can beat that guy. But, you know, in due time, I'll have my time.
All right, well, folks, Peter Barrett, thank you for coming and being on the show. Michael the Hammer Mulligan here. Peter will get his fight November 1st at Memorial Hall. I'm going to be there cage side cheering him on. I think my girl said she wanted me to bring my duck call.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right, folks, thanks for coming to another Fireside Chat with Peter, Slippery Barrett, and Michael the Hammer Mulligan. Hey folks, Michael the Hammer Mulligan here. We're going to do a little, sorry about that. We're going to do a little common sense today. The shopping season is upon us. It's almost Christmas time. By the time this show goes out, it might be a little bit before Thanksgiving. So I just want to talk a little bit about personal hygiene. I ain't gonna go to the mall this year. I've had it. Now, it's bad enough when we have people going to the mall and coughing all over you, don't take care of themselves, or they go out when they're sick. If you're sick, don't go out. That's it. If you got family, you gotta go over and have a Christmas dinner, tell them you're sick and don't go. Or wear one of these. Protect yourself, protect them. The thing that I'm really doing this for is I'm a little bit irritated with this whole Ebola thing. Tell me how a doctor, the man that took the Hippocratic Oath, can leave this country, go to another country, it's warm in there, and take care of people that are sick, which is the greatest thing in the world. I wish I was that guy. I wish I did stuff like that. I don't. I do the best I can here. But for these guys, I applaud them. Don't get me wrong. I love that they do that, and I think that, you know, that's an awesome thing. But to come back here, knowing that there's a possibility that you could be sick, that you could infect millions of people, to come here and go bowling, to come here and to go on the subways in New York City, to go into the subway, knowing that you haven't waited through the 21-day incubation period to find out if you were sick, is just totally wrong. I think jail time is in turn for that. I think that's just disgraceful. Now, the fight is on. I am a president of a couple of different companies, but I'm not a president of the United States. But if I was the president and I was doing a Fireside chat, which I do believe he just did, he's copying me, who's copying another guy from way back when, Teddy I think his name was. But anyways, I think that I would set standards that make it that these people that are going over there to help people wait at least the 21-day incubation period before coming back to the United States, before going anywhere. I think they should be put in place, set up in a gorgeous hotel, set up in the nicest lap of luxury with all the fixings, everything they could ever want for in that place. They don't have to be in jail. They need to be just go through the period. If you're that intent on helping other people, which again is amazing, I can't believe, you know, I mean, I can't comprehend some of the stuff. Or maybe it's just that I'm a father and I'm here and I can't do those things. But I love that they do those things. But if you got to do those things, don't bring it back here. You know, I think that there should be more restrictions on the flights. The people that are over there in those places that have it, if there is any chance at all that this person was infected, needs to go through the 21-day period. They say it takes 4 to 10 days before you see any symptoms of this disease whatsoever. 21 days is the outside. That's the furthest. They don't go no further than that. So if you wait 21 days, we're all safe. So let's try that. I mean, that's all. So anyways, I'm going to wear this when I go shopping this year around the malls because I don't want to get nothing. So if you see a guy looking like, I don't know, the Michelin Tire Man or something, it's me, the Hammer, Fireside. So thanks for coming, and yeah, I'll see you out there.